Hello, everybody. Welcome to our presentation. My partner and I would like to discuss student engagement and data collection for the improvement of our institution. Addressing problems in our institution include attrition and negative perceptions of IHE. Possible solutions that we would like to discuss are establishing an environment and culture of student engagement to promote growth and advancement while providing progress monitoring needed to ensure learning objectives are being met. So how can we improve the culture? Well, according to Ku et al. 2015, they explain that IHE leadership can enhance campus culture positively, affecting student learning outcomes by improving upon the following 5 attributes: gaining knowledge on the quickly changing characteristics of students and their needs, technological advances, increasing competition for students, and economic and competitive forces and pressures, and lastly, the rising skepticism of higher education. So I would like to expound upon those 5 attributes. The first one, gaining knowledge on the quickly changing needs and characteristics of students. We need to understand that our students come from various educational and community backgrounds. They're very diverse with different family and cultural upbringing. They have different and preferential learning styles, and some students are commuters. We need to take into consideration that students have earned credit from different high schools prior to attending our university, and they may have attended 2 or more different higher learning education institutions to earn their undergraduate degree. And some students may have different needs that call for accommodations. When we learn about their different characteristics, then we can shape strategies to refine the learning outcomes. The next force or attribute that we must focus on is technological advances. We all know that technology is quickly evolving in perpetuity, and it's not going to stop. Traditional learning is becoming a hybrid of conventional pedagogy and technology. Online degrees and programs, such as the amazing example from SCU and unrestricted learning, are expanding, especially after COVID. And so understanding the technological advances are essential for us to keep up with the evolving needs of our students. The third force or attribute is increasing competition for our students. A decrease in college applicants has occurred for some institutions. Our leadership must come up with creative solutions to reach new and different people groups. Attracting a new pool of applicants that will remain through graduation is essential, not just for the progression of our institution, but for society and the country as a whole. So enrollment management strategies are so necessary so that we can keep track of our students, monitor their progress, as well as their well-being. We must provide data that student success is being maintained and provide evidence of the efficiency of our institution, as well as providing a competitive edge against other schools. The fourth attribute is economic and competitive forces and pressures. The demand to provide proof of student learning outcomes are slow has been propelled by the shifting of economic and demographic components, forcing the expansion of institutions of higher education. Financial support for public colleges and universities from our government and from our state government has declined in the most recent decades. And private and public institutions cannot just simply increase tuition to alleviate the inflation of the rising costs of our colleges. Students and their families are just not buying it. Our leadership must come up with creative solutions to help our students with the financial strain, to provide grants, donors, and designate specific places to send department funds. Our leadership must balance the cost of our institution while improving students' educational experience and their success. And lastly, the fifth attribute or force is the rising skepticism of higher education. More and more people have become so skeptical of IHE. Society's confidence in the quality of IHE has declined in the most recent years. Colleges and universities have been taking strides to provide proof that IHE is valuable, and showing the data of student learning outcomes and success will be helpful to provide that value and that proof that we need. Providing proof, as well as consistently improving upon our educational planning and executing strategies, can help us to combat those negative and skeptical perceptions of higher education and of our institution. We must strategically plan to improve upon our culture. It's necessary for our survival and for our improvement. Strategic planning comes before developing a master plan. And the master plan that we can come up with will yield quality enhancement of the constantly changing forces of IHE. Consistently improving upon the execution of plans will create an improved culture of student engagement while combating negative perceptions of IHE.
Okay, thank you. So the proof mentioned is data, right? Universities collect a multitude of data for many reasons. Most universities have a data research department to handle the majority of data collection. However, various departments provide their context. So such as athletics, the registrar, the alumni association, fundraising offices, and more. Data calculation methods are not standardized though. So participating departments may have different definitions of how to report their data and therefore may use different calculation methods. So data inclusion terms are also not well defined. So for example, are endowment funds included in the current operating budget? What is the reporting timeline? Is it the fiscal year? Is it the calendar year? A simple question to the registrar of student enrollment status brings about many questions. So for example, are we talking about undergrad enrollment, commuters, online only students, the enrollment before or after the drop add period, etc. Data inclusion specifics can be overlooked or assumed. So each university has its own method of reporting and each agency requesting the data has its own requirements and expectations. Therefore, data points are not comparable from institution to institution, since data collection methods are not standardized from department to department and not institution to institution. True comparative analysis is unattainable because it's unreliable results. So even if there was an agreement on a definition or a calculation method, comparison is not possible. So the text used graduation rates as an example. And since universities can't really be accurately compared to each other because their academic offerings are different, the student characteristics are different, the faculty dynamics are different. Therefore, comparing graduation rates university to university isn't valid. There are two data audiences to consider. You'll go ahead and switch to the next slide, please. Thank you. Two data audiences to consider. One data audience is the external audience. The external audience wants to see data for different purposes and in different formats. This data may be used to defend, to justify, to motivate, or to deliver a purposeful narrative on the university's behalf. The second data audience to consider is the internal audience. So data shared with this audience has the power to drive behavior, to allocate rewards, influence the budget, and relay core values. So the internal data audience is divided into two categories. The global indicators of performance measure the improvement of key variables representing the university's values. This is a macro lens, but still within the university. So macro lens of that university. It's specific to that university. Is the institution achieving the results intended? Is kind of the question that we're asking here. What percentage of students are graduating from that university? What percentage of graduating students are employed? The second category within the internal audience would be the operational measures of effectiveness. They measure the institution's internal measurements, right? So that global measures can improve. So this is the micro lens within the institution. So are the learning objectives being met, would be an example of that particular category. So how can data be used to improve culture and solve problems of student attrition and negative perceptions? Well, to improve, it's best to decide on a few reliable measures using key indicators and then consistently tracking progress over an estimated time frame. So John Lombardi of 2013 explained that institutional values exist in hierarchy. The values drive the focus, which is either driving the budget or driving other initiatives the university is interested in. Establishing clear values helps stakeholders recognize what the value is and categorize that value, right? It also helps to determine what the direct and indirect costs of that value, what they are of that value, and provides resources to continue either the program, the initiative, the contribution, et cetera, if and only if there's an alignment with the institution's values. And data is used to align or discount what's being stated. Most universities examine the status quo and then make decisions based on small tweaks of existing systems to improve the quality. So using existing systems doesn't require huge overhauls in budgeting, planning, academic offerings, or faculty dynamics, yet can increase the productivity of the university. So productivity increases under the direct control of the university. In summary, I have my dog's joining me. In summary, in order to enhance a campus's culture, 5 attributes were identified for the leadership to focus on. Again, number 1, gain knowledge of the student population's characteristics and needs. Number 2, technology advances. Recognize the opportunities technology affords the students and the university. Number 3, compete for students. Attract the students that the university mission and vision are based on. Number 4, economic and competitive forces and pressures. So reallocate funds to align with the institution's values and improve the student educational success. Number 5, the rising skepticism of higher education, proving to skeptics, again, with our data, that the university contributes to the overall well-being of the students that it's serving. So how can culture improve? Establish institutional values that align progress tracking data to the values to increase the institution's productivity. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Stop. Okay. So your dog was so cute.
I locked the door and everything.
You smiled. You were like, okay, wait, what? I stopped sharing myself? What's happening? I was scared. I was like, oh, great. How do I stop?
It should pop up for you to download.
Oh, here we go. I don't know why I stopped that. That's funny.
You did a great job, though. Congratulations.
Are you sure? Did you hear my kids screaming?
No.
They were, oh, okay, good. Because you were like, apologize for my dogs. And I didn't hear the barking. I just saw the ear and you just smiled. Oh, that's funny. Okay. We were at like 13 and a half minutes.
Oh, I'm good. Are you good? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as long as you thought I was okay. I felt like I was fumbling a little bit, but
no, I thought it was great. I thought
seriously?
It was great.
Okay, girl, yes. I'm gonna upload it and I'll send it to you. Okay. And then if you're good with it, then I am. And if not, we can do it again later on or just whenever.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
I'm pretty sure I'm super great with it. So thank you.
Hey, whatever. Thank you. You're so easy. Dear God. Other people would have taken 5 years. All right. So
and we work together. We've been practicing a long time. We got this. If only we could do our dissertation together.
Right? That would make me feel so much better, but it's okay. We're gonna know our information like forward and backward, so we'll be good.
That's right. That's right.
All right, girls. So let me see.
I could take my glasses off. I can't read anymore. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna put my glasses on, my readers from the dollar store.
Oh, that's smart because then be fumbling all around.
right? And then be like this.